Let us place our awareness in the area of our hearts. Take slow, deep breaths and visualize these flowing in and out of our hearts. Just breathing gently and more deeper than normal. And just allow yourself to settle into this wonderful feeling that all is well. Take a few breaths like that. Wonderful. Well, that was just a kickstart. We still have a topic to discuss, and then we'll kick it up a notch with the quick coherence technique. Thank you, Barb. Yes, I think it could be the weather changes for sure. I mean, I do experience that as well. But monitor it, and if it needs medical attention, then please do seek medical attention. Hello, Tasneem. Good morning, Tasneem, to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And today's topic, this is the I didn't know that moment, and perhaps you did. This particular one you might have already been wise to, and that is there are always three sides to a story. I was working with a client of mine who owns a wellness center out in the States, and she was telling me about an issue she was having with one of her practitioners when she was dealing with a practitioner. And she says she was really upset at some of the things that what she had heard going on. And so this inspired me to share with you today's topic, is that there are always three sides to a story. The first is, of course, your side, and what you see and perceive to be what you feel is the right side, the truth. Then there's the other side, their side, her side, his side, the other person's side, the second. And then the third side is, of course, the truth. So there are three sides of the story. So if you just walk into a conversation, a difficult conversation, or a conversation you really don't want to have with somebody else, but if you walk in there with the attitude that there are three sides to the story, there is your side, which is the one you perceive, there is their side, which is the one they're going to tell you all about, and then there's the real truth, which is really objective, and somebody observing this exchange may be able to shed light. So one of the things, and there's a reason why we hesitate on considering somebody else's perspective, right? So when you consider your perspective, you consider somebody else's perspective, but there's a reason why you don't do that, because we are so entrenched in our own belief system, in our own reason why this is the right perspective, that any kind of notion about somebody else's perspective being even has a little hint of correctedness would throw us off, and we want to be entrenched in our own kind of truth. And so what I would counsel this particular individual and anybody who wants to kind of master this thing is to walk into every situation that says, okay, there are three sides to a story. I know what my side is, and this is my perspective. The other person's side is one you listen to. And a lot of times we listen with our ears, but that is the communication is done, maybe 10 or 15% through voice, through actual words. Majority of the communication is done through body language. And body language, it's not about, the person scratches her left ear and therefore that means this, or the eyes shoot off to the right side, that means that. That's not what we mean by body language. There's a more deeper connection that you can make with this person, and we teach that. We teach that in this particular sessions, that your heart has a magnetic field, and this magnetic field has a signature, and that signature is your emotion. So if you shine and if you become coherent and you allow yourself to build that emotion around you, which is actually a signature on your magnetic field bubble, which surrounds you 3 feet around you, you can actually transform the conversation, and you can actually listen generously. So you've got your perspective. When you take the deep breaths in, which we practice every week, and you experience positive feelings, which we will do next, then what you do is, when you walk into a situation, now you're ready to listen to their side. And when you listen to their side, experience the words coming out of their mouth through your heart. So when they're speaking, listen for the essence of what they're saying. And once you listen for the essence of what they're saying, then you can communicate with them from the heart, which means you're communicating the essence of what you're saying. When you do that, you come to a conclusion where both of you are on the same plane. Now that doesn't mean that is the overall truth. What it means is that you now have a shared truth between yourself and the other person. Who knows what the real truth is? We don't know that, but at least we can get to a conclusion where we've got a shared truth between two people. All right. So the technique I described to you is called the coherent communication technique, which is a technique that's pioneered by HeartMath folks, and it's really listening from the heart. And when you do that, you actually come to an understanding. And if it's an employee-employer relationship, you've now just created an opportunity to have a very loyal employee. So if it's a relationship, then now you have a more solid relationship. All right. So that is the basic sermon for today. And now let us now continue on to our next segment, which is the heart focus or quick coherence technique. I'm getting a note from Tasneem saying that I'm breaking up. Is that true for everyone, or is it just that one computer that may be giving trouble? Good morning, Sandy. Thank you for joining us. Okay, good, Deborah. It sounds like Tasneem, there's probably some Wi-Fi issues. On the replay, it'll be perfect. So I'll be sending out a replay where you will hear every word that I say. All right. Thank you so much for commenting on that. Excellent. All right. So now let's move to the quick coherence technique. And remember, use this technique to listen to others and breathe it into your heart. So let's place our awareness in the area of our heart. Take slow, deep breaths and visualize these flowing in and out of our hearts. Just breathing gentle. There's no need to rush. The body slowing down. And now reach for that feeling of gratitude, appreciation, compassion. Experience this emotion by recalling a past event or a past situation which caused these emotions to come up for you. When you do that, your body doesn't know the difference. It just goes along with this as if it's happening in the now. So just as you're taking deep breaths flowing in and out of your heart, experience these wonderful positive feelings. And now your immune system's being boosted because of this. And you're experiencing gentle waves, gentle soothing waves that you're nourishing each cell in your body. Each cell has a purpose. Your body is actually a community of 100 trillion cells. And you are as strong as the weakest cell. So let us send this amazing feeling to each of our cells. And they're reaching for it right now. So the deeper you breathe, the more of that you will send to those cells physically. And then the energetics will take care of the rest. Your magnetic field will take care of the rest. And of course, this has been measured, the magnetic field, so you are generating one right now. And because we're all on this call right now, together, the magnetic field is hypothesized by these scientists to have a multidimensional aspect to it, which means every one of us is connected in this bubble. And so as we take deep breaths and experience these positive feelings, we are actually helping everybody else, and we're multiplying exponentially the effects of this. If we were just to do it ourselves, it wouldn't be as powerful. Deep breaths. Breathing in and out gently. Beautiful. Just visualize these flowing into your heart and out of your heart. Your heart is a big magnetic generator. That is where we want to clean up our magnetic field energy, is to inject positive emotion. And that is our 15 minutes of Monday Morning Espresso Shot. Thank you so much for those who have joined us. You're now excused unless you want to stick around for some Q&A if you have some questions. And I'm happy to respond and answer to those questions. Let me just type them in. That would be wonderful. I know, Deborah, already. It went quickly, didn't it? It usually does. Time has, you slow time down or you change many things. I was doing a workshop one day, and I don't know if I told this to everybody, but I took people through a more deeper technique called the heart lock-in technique in this workshop. And then I asked for people for feedback, and I did this for about 5 to 10 minutes. And one woman raised her hand and said to me, she said, "I actually felt time slow down." And I said, "Really? How did you how did you feel that? Like, how did that, how did you sense that? And she told me about the clock on the wall. It was an analog clock, which you could hear the second hand just going tick, tick. It was a loud ticking sound. And she said when she started going into this deep state of breathing and did her heart locking technique, which is a more advanced technique, she said that the tick, the actual sounds between the second, like tick, tick, actually slowed down for her. And she could hear it actually going, less time between the ticks. And then I said to her, I said, well, that makes sense, because when you slow your body down, everything slows down. And your perspective, you have actually a little bit more time to actually respond and react. Whereas if you're panicked, everything's moving at a real lightning speed. We actually talk a lot more about this and how to tune our body so that it's always got time to respond in a coherent manner, in a more rational manner, and intelligently, as a matter of default for your body. And we do that on the 21-day journey that we're starting. I don't know if most of you have heard about it or not, but there's a 21-day journey that we're starting, that starts on July the 30th for four sessions. We have about 140 people registered this time. So you're welcome to join in if you want. You will be directed to a web site as you exit this program, and you can certainly check that out. I will send information in my replay if you're interested. All right. Yes, you attempt this when you're running late, Janet. Excellent. That's exactly when you want to do that, is when you're running late. Margaret, I need help with a long-time relationship block with the wife of my son. This is the daughter-in-law. Now, that's an age-old situation. It's always a mother-daughter-in-law or father-son-in-law kind of situation. Completely understand that. And again, today's topic is timely because there's your side, there's her side, and then there's the truth. And there's a relationship block because you're not able to communicate in a way that both of you feel nurtured in that communication. It sounds to me like, and this, I can relate to this because, all of us have had situations in our lives where we've had relationships with family members, extended family members, where we've had to put up with, where we feel we need to put up with certain antics. And really all that is I do not connect with you, you do not connect with me. And so we keep away from each other, or we're very cold to each other, or we shut each other off, or we're still angry about something that happened 2 years ago. And all of those things could be true. So without diving deep into it, Margaret, what I would do is next time you have a chat with her, I would do the technique that we just learned right now, and just practice it every day, and you'll see the replay. Play it in your earphones. And when you do that, when next time you approach her, begin to speak from the heart and see how her demeanor changes. Sometimes that's all it takes to diffuse a situation. So try that out, okay? Sandy, in my experience, when I consciously try to live in the present, I feel time goes slower. Absolutely, Sandy. Thank you for that comment. It very much allows me to appreciate every precious moment. And that's right. You actually take the time to smell the roses. And that is actually slowing time down. I've never found rushing into anything to be beneficial, unless you're trying to step away from a speeding bullet or something. When you're in a normal life unfolding, rushing somewhere rarely achieves as much as when you slow down and collect your thoughts and react more intelligently. And actually, with the breathing technique that you're learning here, you can do both. You can actually slow down to speed up. That was actually one of my topics a month or so ago, is you actually have to slow down to speed up. It's like the track athlete who goes to those little stops when they put their foot on there to try and just dart off. What they have to do is they have to create that stop, and then that's the only way they can really launch from that situation. So you really have to slow down in order to speed up. Thank you for that, Sandy. Thank you, Tasneem. Thank you for your comments. Are there any questions? Doesn't sound like anybody's typing in. Everybody's doing well. Excellent. If there are, please send me an email. I'm happy to respond to those. I expect this replay perhaps in a day or two, and I'll send that to you. Hopefully you'll receive it in time, and then you can practice some more. So we'll see you next week then. Next Monday it is, same time, same channel. Oh, good, Deborah already answered. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you so much.